Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today.
If you suffer from dry, scratchy, irritated eyes, the problem may actually stem from your eyelids. Cleansing eyelids daily is essential for maintaining healthy eyes, which is why doctors recommend OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy Eyelid Cleanser. New OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy removes oil, pollen, and other contaminants from your eyelids to effectively reduce redness, irritation, and itching caused by seasonal allergies. These pre-moistened wipes are easy to use, on the go, or at home. Simply wipe and leave on. As the industry standard of care, OcuSoft has a full line of eyelid cleansers for various conditions. Available through eye care professionals, most retail outlets, and Amazon.com. Visit OcuSoft.com for more details.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We started out the year with a sort of a lessons learned from 2023. And then we talked about some of our challenges, our favorite moments. We probably really didn't talk about challenges much. It's hard to do that without me crying, so we tend to skip that a lot. And so what we want to do today is sort of talk about what your thoughts are for what you're going to do in 2024. So I know, goals. We all have goals. Some of us set resolutions, mostly about weight loss and exercise. And then I'm not sure how far we make it with those goals, but what are your goals for 2024? Let's start with personal, and then we'll go to professional, and maybe we end it there. All right, go.
Oh boy.
Personal
goals. I mean, for me, I need to get on the bike, and I actually want to do some more triathlons. So I've got some biking and running and swimming I need to do, which will definitely happen this year. I can feel it.
What makes it not happen? So when you don't reach the goals that you want to reach in that, what gets in the way?
Traveling is the hardest thing. Obviously, if we're gone for 3 or 4 days out of a week, it's so hard to. I have the hardest time going into a hotel. What is it?
And exercising?
The workout rooms and getting on the treadmills and getting on the stationary bikes. I don't even ride a stationary bike at home. So for me to not have my bike, it's like, it's so hard.
I've seen what you've done in the past. And the way you did it is you knew where we were going and you looked up a path and you mapped it out and you actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I think one time in Texas, I actually went to a pool and did some swimming.
Yeah. So
and in New York City, I swam. Yeah.
What is the lesson in that then? What is the real problem?
The lack of planning. Lack of planning. Isn't that what this episode's about? Planning?
Yes, that's
goals
the
for next
whole
year?
thing.
Okay.
And so you specifically outlined, David, exactly what happens with all of us is that we have a vague goal,
and there's nothing worse than getting home with your exercise clothes and they're still nice and clean in the bag.
It is so awesome when they get dirty and you run out.
Yeah.
Meaning I don't have any more exercise clothes.
Yeah, I mean, that never happens, but that's oh man.
So you either take less exercise clothes with you or you actually make it happen.
You just do it, yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm a better planner than David. You guys all know that. We have different personalities, different voices.
Depends on what we're planning.
That's true. You plan all our trips.
Yeah.
So good point.
I do take care of
you do the fun planning.
Logistics of the
and I do the work-related planning.
Yes.
But I'm not going to do your work-related planning because that would be very invasive into your life.
Yeah.
So, I think what I notice about you is when you've done better with accomplishing that, it's because you have set your mind to, this is where we're going. I'm going to make a plan for that.
Right. And if there's an
this
event,
is what I'm going to do.
Like the Hope Ride right here now.
Yeah.
When that's coming, obviously you have to plan for that. You can't just, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do 300 miles in 3 days, you're going to have to get in the saddle and ride.
Yeah. So you have to set a goal.
You have to set a race.
And then you have to have a timeline.
Yep.
And that way you're going to hit your timeline.
Right. You got the plan.
You need to have a specific plan for how it's going to happen, even down to the detail of, I'm going to be out of town, so this is how I'm going to make it happen that day.
Right.
Because otherwise, everything in life gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And you end up then, so I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to tell anybody out there. I want you to tell them what happens. How do you feel about yourself when you don't hit that goal?
I think I just get frustrated. And it's
with me.
I think
with everything.
It's you and the kids and it's work and it's everything, right? I mean, it's just, you're just frustrated all the way around. So it affects everything. It's
Yeah.
not just a matter of
Someday we'll have to have Caleb come on the show and tell everybody how dedicated he is to working out and how he made that happen, even with a flat tire. So
That'll be a good
we'll
one.
leave them.
little inside joke, but yeah, that'll
We'll
be
leave
good.
them waiting to hear that story. But, that's commitment. You have to be committed.
Right.
You have to have a plan. You have to know which days of the week. And then what helps me is when I know David's goal, and this is good for a couple, when I know what his goal is, then I can say to him, Tuesday morning is your morning to run.
Get out of bed.
Get out of bed, and I will too. And I'll
Go.
go do something myself.
Yes.
And, I think that's why it's so important to have those specific laid out
Right.
plans.
Mhm.
So now everybody knows it's listening that that's your goal.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be asking you, so how many triathlons this year?
I don't know if it's a matter of how many, but what type.
Okay.
So I would like to do at least get a half Ironman this year, and then maybe I can plan for 2025 to do a full Ironman.
All right. There you
So-
said it.
Yeah, there it is. Now it's on the.
Now everybody's heard
recorded.
it all over the world. So
Ugh.
you have to make it happen.
Here it goes.
Don't put it out there if you're not going to do it.
I would love to do that.
I love
so we'll
it.
See.
All right.
I'll
So
look for one in the calendar and see what I can do.
personal. So that was your personal
Mhm.
goal.
Professional, I need to. Well, I mean, professional. We're just plugging along and doing our thing with the websites and the podcast here in the office, and maybe another location this year, which would be fantastic. Well, we also have to figure out our current location because that's obviously,
Yeah.
like we mentioned, it's going away at some point. So we're looking for a new building. And in South Florida, new buildings are a rather hard thing to find at this point.
But I love how you said that, because what I think that brings up is that sometimes you can have goals for what you want to achieve, and there's unexpected roadblocks that you cannot anticipate, and you have to then be able to figure out how you're going to move through it
Right.
without it stopping you. It's not a stopping point. It's a recalibrate.
Right.
Think about the plan. And I think the hardest part for most people when those things come upon us is not getting frustrated and angry and upset and discouraged and letting it keep you from doing all the other things that you need to do to make it through the goals that you have for yourself.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
An example, I mean, for me, something bad can happen in your life, unexpected, and it can keep you from doing all the things that you had set for that year. And what's, I think, terrible about something like that is that you had a plan, you were made for that. It was a goal that you had created. And so to let something get in your way that you have the power to move around and get past
Yeah.
is not okay.
Right.
And that's the nice thing about accountability partners too, is you can help each other through that and say, hey, this isn't what you wanted. We're not going to let this stop us. Let's
Right.
figure it out. This is just a stopping point to recalibrate, regroup, and keep going.
Yeah. It's
You've
good.
helped me through that many times. Physical stuff mostly, but
Hmm.
that's been something that we've had to work through together.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Professional, the office,
Yeah.
the websites, as you guys are going to see coming up, and
I need to do more studying and reading too. But I guess that's personal stuff too. That's more
yeah, it's kind of both. I'm
personal
with you.
growth. Need to be doing that more, especially studying books and stuff like that. So
You have
Yeah.
a plan. I know you're thinking about what you want to
Yeah.
share and not share. I get
No,
it.
there's a
You don't
lot
have
there.
to. You don't have to tell everybody
there's a
everything.
lot there.
But the plan has to have a path to accomplishing it.
Mhm.
That's what I found over time.
Yeah.
So I'll let you think about the last one. I'll go with my personal.
What's the last one?
No, you have to think about it.
No, what
So
was
what? How you would, I think that for me, what we wanted to do here was really to tell people, okay, how we have a goal for 2024. We have a plan for how we're going to do it. We know that it may not always go the way we expect.
Right.
So how do we help each other through the unexpected? And we can kind of end with that. But personal, let's see, I wrote some things down. Well, you guys know that I have been telling you about a book that's coming out, and it hasn't happened yet because it turns out it takes a whole lot of time for that editing process to take place. So I'm hoping that is in January, February, hopefully 2024. And then from there, we want to be able to put So the book is going to have very vague references to how to do things in your practice or your business. And so it's good for any business, but it doesn't go into specifics. So where we can do better is then to dive into it in conversations we have around the country, around the world, be able to actually be in front of folks and share that message and help them bring it to life in their business as well. So I'm excited about that. And I need it to get done. It's just on me, like weighing on me that it's not done yet. So,
and it's been a while. It's been a long time coming.
It is. It's a process. And part of it too, you know, I will just tell y'all, part of it is, I think sometimes when I don't accomplish my goals, it's honestly because I've been afraid that I couldn't. So it's not that I didn't because it's
easy to worry about failure.
Yes.
And it's not failure, but it's not getting what you want. Because that's not really, that's not failure necessarily. It's just not, maybe it's not going to meet the expectation that you want it to.
So maybe I'll just not do it. And then you make up all these reasons why you can't do that, why I'm too tired or I'm too busy or I have to do this, that, or the other.
I got to take care of that patient or I got this to do. Yeah.
Oh, we're good at making up excuses. I do it just the same as anybody else. And then the problem of it is that it weighs on me. And as David knows, it's a 4:00 in the morning wake up. My eyes are wide open.
Yep.
I'm thinking about all the things that didn't get done and all the things I need to do and all the people that I might have disappointed. And, you know, the list goes on. And if it's too long, then I never get back to sleep. And so the way to get that list out of your head is to get it on paper and to get it done. It's got to get out of your head. And I know that. That's why I have notebooks. And I write stuff down. For me, it's not even good enough to put it in my phone. I'll put it in the phone, but I need to write it down. We are excited to have CooperVision as a sponsor of our podcast. CooperVision is one of the world's leading contact lens manufacturers, and they serve eye care professionals and patients in over 130 countries. Their innovative products help millions of patients see every single day. One of the technologies and innovations that we love the most about CooperVision is their groundbreaking technology in soft contact lenses that helps to slow the progression of myopia in children 8 to 12 years old at the initiation of treatment.
No, it needs to be somewhere where you're going to look at it. Because your phone can easily it can get lost in your phone very easily.
Yeah, so
There's
I
too
want
many other
to
distractions on
get
there.
that book done. And then I will never forget, we sat down with a gentleman back, I think it was it early 2023? And we were talking about how we read, meaning the books we read. And I loved what he said.
Yeah, that's right.
And yet I still have some learning to do because he's a much better man than I am, a person with reading like this. And this is what he said. He said, what I like to do every year is I have a stack of books as tall as I am. So he said a stack of books as high as I am tall. And my goal is to read through all those books every year, meaning that stack that year. And he said, I'll write notes in them. And then at the end of the year, if I know somebody that I know would love a certain book, I will send it to them as a gift because I don't have room for all of them, but it gives me a chance to read through them. I make notes. I keep and then he actually said that he goes and does a digital sort of note taking as well. Oh, wow. So he has his own little summary and then he gives them away. So where I'm not as good as he is, like I don't know 52 books. I try for one a week. I'm pretty tall, so I don't think that would be 5'9". But one a week, I would love to get through again. That's what I used to do. Wow. And then I think I'm probably not as good as him in that I don't know that I'm going to give them all away. Well. So we'll see.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time reading, and it's a lot of time studying, and it's a lot of time taking notes. I mean,
I get so excited. Yeah. I read stuff like that, though, and poor Dave has to listen to me because then I, can you believe this? Did you know that I'm a lion? And he's like, what are you talking about? Well, this one book that I'm reading talks about the power of when, and it talks about how we all have different chronological or circadian rhythms. And so if there's 4 different ones, and so whichever one you are, he goes through, and it's really crazy weird so far. So he's a doctor that goes through exactly how you can know a certain person type. So these 4 wake up at a different time naturally, go to bed at a different time naturally. Their natural rhythm is such that they eat, sleep, conversate. Is that a word? I made that up last time, I think. And they go through this process, and it's very typical for people that are like them. And so you can go through this free whole thing. What is it called? A survey questionnaire
Yeah.
that tells you which one you are.
Right.
This is different than the 5 voices. This is completely different. But as I read these books, the example I'm using is just to say, I read it, I get so excited about it because I go, oh my gosh, that's me. And oh, that's you. You're a
Right.
bear, by the way. You don't know it yet, but that's what you are.
I'll be reading that one.
And we are different. We have a different circadian rhythm. We have
Yeah.
a different cycle, of waking up, going to sleep, amount of sleep we need. All of that is different. And so that's why we look at each other and go, wait a minute, how can you stay up that late? I'm dead by 10 o'clock. And you could be up till 1 in the morning and still be like this, happy as can be. But I also wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't be waking up at 4 o'clock thinking about anything if I was going to bed at 1 o'clock. There's no way. Yeah, I'm a happy time
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock. It's over.
But that's the nice thing about reading books. And maybe not everyone out there has to read one a week
Right.
or stack as high as you are tall.
Right.
But I would definitely encourage you to get back into reading, like David said, and make sure that however you do it, whether it's a digital book, you don't have to fill your house with books. I love them, but that doesn't mean everybody does. But get back into reading and remember the lessons from them. And then I think I've said the book, reading books. So all books. How about that?
Yeah.
And then another one that is really, I guess, a professional goal, but it'll end up being personal too. And for me, everything merges.
Yeah.
Is I really want to understand better how to communicate with people. And not just like this in a podcast, but also, I mean, we got to meet Steve Cockram in London. We didn't even talk about that trip on the last podcast.
No, we
so our
didn't.
final trip of the year, we were able to go back to Europe with
2023, yeah, the end of
some of our
2023.
best friends
Yeah.
and visit a lot of places that are near and dear to our hearts. And we started the trip by going to the home of Steve Cockram, who with Jeremy Kubicek wrote The Communication Code and the book 5 Voices, 5 Gears, Leadership. I think it is 100X. I don't have that one yet. It's supposed to be delivered. Maybe it's out there today. But we met him and were able to talk to him about the books that they've written. And this one, The Communication Code, talks about how to unlock every relationship one conversation at a time. Was that a fun time with him?
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah. So he walked us through how everyone, there's basically 5 voices. We all are a certain voice, and that's how we learn and how we communicate and how we act. And it's, again, another free assessment to be able to
Right.
figure out what your voice is. And then they've got a podcast too, which I love and we've listened to, that helps you. He walks through exactly in this podcast how each voice sounds in the world, meaning if my voice is a nurturer or guardian, which is what it is, then what does that mean I am and how do I act? And then what are my challenges? And it is crazy when you read it and listen to it.
Right.
They know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
And
It's incredible.
It's encouraging because you read it, learn it, understand it, and then you go, oh, well, that's why I am what I am. And that's why my spouse is what he is. And that's why we do the things we do. And it's so good because you better understand each other, your teams at the office.
Right.
It makes a difference in how you act going forward.
Yeah. And how you treat them, and
So
now you
that's
know what
my
they're
other
going
goal.
through.
Yeah, so I want to get better at that.
That's
I
great.
want to do more research, more study, and bring it to our team. I know we already mentioned it to our team at the office. They're super excited to get
Yeah.
started too. And that will mean we will bring friends in to help us that know more about it than we do.
Yeah.
So
It's good stuff.
coming up. All right, so goals for 2024, personal, professional, anything we left out?
I don't think so. There's a lot going on, so we
Yeah.
probably did.
That's a lot. I
But-
mean, the other things that we do, we'll keep doing.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's
Just normal life stuff. Got a daughter in optometry school, and
Yep.
Aiden's deciding where he's going to do his graduate degree.
And such a blessing to have our son-in-law at the office with us. We just, I can't even begin to be. I'm just so grateful, and I can't even begin to understand and really think about how blessed we are. And we certainly don't deserve it, but we're very grateful for it,
Yeah.
and try to share our blessings with others. So
Yeah.
Oh, I think I remembered the one thing we left out is we want to spend more time with friends, more quality time
Yeah.
with people that lift us up.
Right.
Doesn't mean we have to always be with people that are, how do I say this? Doesn't mean we can't be giving as well. Doesn't mean we're takers, meaning we're only with people that can
Right.
give to us. But what I mean by that is it's important to be with people that make you want to be a better person.
Right. And that was hard the last 3 months, 4 months of 2023, just with all the traveling.
Yeah, we missed our
we
time
missed
with
our
our
friends
people.
and even family. You know, you get
Yeah.
sucked into the, oh, here's a flight here, here's the flight there, and you're just nonstop. I don't know. I think the last 3 or 4 months of 2023 were some of the most chaotic months.
Yeah,
We've
everything
had
happened
traveling.
at the end. Not as organized as we should have been. And that's
No.
what I said in our
Exactly.
last podcast is
Yeah.
probably one of the things that was the biggest challenge is I don't know that we were as organized as we could have been.
Yeah. But we
So-
had a lot of good things come out of it. I mean,
That's right.
some of the meetings were
That's right.
incredible with the people that you spoke to. The people came up to you afterwards, and then OMS 2023 was
It was outstanding.
Yeah,
Optometric
the-
Management Symposium
Yeah.
in Orlando. So don't forget to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Join us.
that's this coming December
Yeah.
I think 5 to 8 of 2024.
It's a family event. It really is. And doctors
And
and
it's
their
incredible.
staff, their teams, we had a great time and everybody
Yep.
really was there to learn.
Mhm.
And we've had people still sending us text messages saying, hey, one of the best meetings I've ever been to, ever.
And the
So,
emails are just amazing. And
Yeah.
when you know you're doing that and you're running that and that's part of your being, honestly. It just makes you feel so good when
Right.
the time's up and you know that you put everything you could into
yeah.
it.
And to work with a team that we worked with, you can't
Yeah.
ask for a better team than what there
Absolutely.
is at Broadcast Med.
Yeah.
So good people. And we want to
Looking forward to this year.
Yep. Well, we'll leave you with that. We just wanted you to kind of be thinking about, remember goals you want to make. Don't make goals for 2024 that you don't have a plan and a path to achieving, because it's almost worse to have a goal that you don't accomplish or make it to
Right.
than to not have one at all. So we're not saying don't set goals, definitely set them, but then create a path and then know what success looks like.
Right.
If it's writing a
And
paper,
have somebody hold you accountable.
right, good, yes. And then
So
make
hard.
sure that you're with people that are going to bring you up.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. There's only so much time in your life. So set your goals, have a path to make it happen, and think about those goals. Don't have too many. Did we have too
Right.
many? I think we're okay. And now
We're-
that I know
we're
his and he verbalized them, I can make sure I help hold him accountable. But honestly, I don't want to. You guys do it. So every time you see him, ask him how he's doing.
Oh my gosh.
And
no.
you can ask
There
me
we
about
go.
my pile of books. And hopefully what we're going to do is bring those books to you.
Yeah.
So we'll share them with you,
We
tell
gotta
you what
plan
we've
on
learned.
dedicate a couple podcasts towards a book club, right?
Yes. And remember, you got to set those goals for your office. So personal, professional, and your business goals. Professional may be business, and some of them may all go
They're gonna
together.
cross a little bit.
Yeah, we do have goals for the practice, and we share them with our team. So we don't want to leave that out. We
Oh,
have
yeah,
growth
yeah.
goals.
Yes.
We have new technology we're bringing in. We're actually bringing in some dry eye devices and super excited about that. Can't wait to share it with
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Stuff that's brand new to the U.S. actually. So we got a lot of fun stuff planned.
Yeah.
So stay with us. We can't wait to see you next time.
Your eyes and your vision are under attack. Damaging blue light from the sun, your phone, your computer, your tablet, even light bulbs and car headlights is constantly bombarding you. The good news is our eyes actually already have a line of defense to counter the effects of blue light. This defense is made up of 3 pigments called carotenoids. MacuHealth with Micromicelle, the only supplement with the exclusive patent on all 3 macular carotenoids and Micromicelle technology.